Welcome back to the final Bruins post game of their postseason. Incredibly disappointing. We've had so much fun, my dad and I, the past, couple weeks, few weeks here with you all, especially for the Bruins games. The post games have gotten so much love, so much attention, and it's finally over. Uh, it felt as if we've had our backs against the wall for the entire time. Uh, this was a battle. It felt as though as we've gone through numerous series and not just the the two series because uh, the Leafs gave us a run for our money. We thought we had no business winning that series after what happened. I think in game 4 or 5, and then 6, and then of course this series. It almost from the jump after that game 1, we had our backs against the wall. This sucks. It sucks really bad. I was loving the amount of content we were getting as fans of New England area with the Boston Celtics and Boston Bruins. We had so many wonderful chances, and we just couldn't bury them. The Pasternak breakaway. I don't think Paster's going to sleep well after that. Um, McAvoy, the bad chip. Right off his stick. Came off the wrong way. So painful. Um, This one doesn't hurt nearly as much as last year. Hey, what's up, Tim? Tim was on the pregame for me with me. If you guys saw that, my dad's absence. My dad did try and join this, but he's like in a club right now, and it sounds absolutely horrendous. So my dad won't be able to join. That's why we were a bit late here. We had no right to get as far as we did. I think this was all a product of Swayman. I mean, even in this game, he made a lot of incredibly tough saves look very easy. Um, so many one-on-one, mano-a-mano chances from the Panthers and Swayman would just come away with what seemed to be a super quick glove save. We just weren't killers tonight. Totally agree. We had a chance to go up 3-1 with the golden opportunities we had, and we just didn't finish. Bob definitely stole this game for them. Yeah, I think you're right, Matt. I think it's tough because on top of Bob stealing the game, we had our chances. We had open nets, we had breakaways. Pasta trying to fool Bobrovsky the same way Zaka did. It's kind of a bit silly. That was just a super tough game, but I think it's another one of those games similar to earlier in the series when we did have tight games with these guys, where I don't think we actually deserved that game too much. The Panthers had so many amazing opportunities. I watched this game with my buddy Andrew and his girlfriend Autumn, and when we got that first power play, I looked over and I said, "Nothing is going to kill our momentum like this power play." I almost didn't want the power play. We had complete zone control. Their guys were on the ice for so long. They took that penalty, and I think they got like 2 or 3 awesome scoring chances, and then we didn't have a shot on net for 10 minutes of game time after that. It was so embarrassing. It was like completely lost our flow when we got that power play, as odd as that is. Um, sucks losing to these guys, especially. I can't stand their 2 dozen fans, which are super annoying, and their entire team, bunch of floppers, uh, dirty players. I can't believe they called an embellishment. It's really salt in the wound. The embellishment call on Witherspoon was just like kicking us while we're down, especially after the series and the different things that we've kind of dealt with. I forget who threw his head back last game. Um, Tim, for all those haters who think Monty has to go, should get real. This was a year where we were suffering the consequences of last year all in last year's All In, and we are missing key pieces. I completely agree, Tim. If you go back and you look at our introduction podcast to the season, um, the hope was that we would win one round, especially after last year, and we were able to win that round. So I think there was conversations about like, is that a successful season before the season even started? Just looking at the season in a nutshell, because of how much we went all in. Here's where Monty does not get a pass: a record number of too many men on the ice penalties. That is so embarrassing. 7 too many ice on too many men on the ice penalties in 13 games is so embarrassing from a coaching perspective. Um, Monty has to get real with that as well. There was never an improvement. He never got better at preventing those penalties. It happened this game. We know exactly what two pieces we need: two top line centers. And I think that's a lot easier said than done, especially since, DeBrusque is probably gone. Olmark is seemingly going to block most trades. I don't know what his no trade clause is next season. Um, Swayman is going to get the Brinks truck backed up for him. We're going to give him a huge contract. We're going to have to do probably an episode on team building. How do we go from here? Kind of a postseason wrap up. My dad and I, maybe we'll do that this weekend. And once we look at the contracts and everything like that, take stock of the season. They were talking about the too many men on Chicklets, and they all agreed it is not Monty. It's on the players. Yeah, they're adults. They're adults. They should know better, right? They're professionals, but it's just like trying to think what the 12 men on the field for football. Like that, the coach is going to take that blame every day of the week, right? The coach, that's like too many men on the field, too many men on the ice. It's just like whether you say it's the coach's fault or not, it goes right back to the coach. I think we might trade Olmark, and I've read different things about that, and I think we're going to be surprised on how little we get for Olmark, especially since people know our situation with Swayman. We are not in a position of power in the trade situation with Olmark. We'll see what we can get, if anything. Do you think there will be a Marner trade to the Bruins? Tim says absolutely not. Marner's tough for me because Marner, I think he might be one of those players that whenever I see him, especially in the regular season, he tends to kill us. He kind of disappears in the playoffs, and I know he's a bit of a meme because of how soft he can be, but we'll have to see, Matt. Matt, I mean, there's gonna come a time for team building and stuff. Um, Thankfully, we can't take that cap hit anyway. Allmark is still a top 10 goalie. Oilers would kill for someone like that. Yeah, but do they have to kill? And I mean, if we just focus on the game and we circle back to the game, because that's the fresh wound. It sucks. I had a lot of faith after that first goal. I got super excited. It really is a bummer, and it felt similar to the Zaka amazing pass to Pastrnak last series, where it's like if that's what we have to do to win this game, then we are in some major trouble. Matt said Bobrovsky stole this game, and Matt, I think you're kind of right. It took an amazing no look backhand pass right on the tape for us to score, and you can't live and die on those chances. You got it. So it's like it was perfection, and world class goals were needed this game. Um, We got Ramona on Facebook. Ramona, such a bummer that we might not see you around on the podcast for a bit until Bruins pick up again or we talk about the Bruins. But Ramona says, "Damn it, another year. This sucks." I totally agree, Ramona. I feel you. And Matt, I don't know. I think he just doesn't want to be a Leaf, and he's still a solid player. I wouldn't want to be a Maple Leaf either, and they're probably just paying him boatloads of money. We'll see what Marner gets on the open market. Actually, I don't know if he's going to be on the open market. They're probably going to blow up that team. They're going to get a new coach. They might blow up that team, but we'll see. We sent him home. We got 6 games. I think, everyone coming to the series, and we thought it was gonna be a sweep. The Panthers really showed us that they could bleed. It really sucks that we couldn't put them away. Um, there were games we almost stole, but we didn't steal any games this series, and I think that's kind of what we needed. They were the better team when the other team is the better team, from a standpoint of pretty much everything except for goaltending, then you need to steal a game, at least one game in the series. And we almost had that with the, goaltender interference game. We almost stole a game there. We didn't deserve it, but we needed it and we didn't get it. And every other game we won, we had to earn and we had to be the better team, for almost the full 60 minutes. And you really can't count on that when you are the underdog. And we were 100% the underdog in this series. I have to look at the box score and see, you know, what's going on. How did different players play from like a metric standpoint, where certain guys getting pucks on the net. Um, DeBrusque, big shout out to him, 5 block shots. He had that wonderful behind the back, no look pass. Um, Pastrnak had 5 shots. Marchand only 1 shot. No block shots. 3 hits. McAvoy with a rough roughing. Call. I have a friend who's a diehard Leaf, and he thinks that they might do something with Olmark and Marner. I don't know if that would happen, but it's interesting. There's so much that's going to go on with that Leafs team. They're probably going to tear that team down. And I'm really curious what the Bruins are going to do. We have Poitras coming back. It would have been nice. Let me see. Coyle and Zaka both crushed it in the face-off circle tonight. 12 wins for 66% for Zaka, 73% for Coyle. Oh, man, it sucks. We blew this game. The major take back, that sucks. I get it. They were both kind of skating towards the puck, but them taking back that major was a kick in the stomach. 5 minutes of power play. We could have maybe have figured out our crap a little bit. I think the team was. I think a Marner Olmark trade will cost him a boatload. Might not be bad in that case. We'll see. I think there were a few times we overpassed, and I don't think Bobrovsky is that good. McAvoy had a really good opportunity to just put the puck on the net a few times, him one-on-one with the goalie. I always want our players, they're professional players. They make big money. They've been playing hockey their whole life. I always want them to show some sort of skill expression. And they really didn't take all the opportunities they could to do that. I don't know, guys. That was a rough game. Only 23 shots for our guys. We won the face-off circle 62% to 38. Oh, man. We had 16 giveaways to their 9. That Swayman goal was glad you said that. I think Bob is really good, but not great. Yeah, I mean, I he didn't do anything, I think, that really stood out to me. Like, there was one they were praising him for, and it hit him in the shoulder. He didn't have to move. His shoulder was there already. There was another one where I think it was Brazeau or DeBrusque. I don't know. They came through the center with after a great pass from Zaka, and they just missiled it right into his chest. And it's like, oh, he blocked a hard shot there. He literally hit him in the chest. The puck is not going to go through his chest. There's no like skill there. So Swayman did a great job getting from side to side. Even the DeBrusque goal, we had almost 5 Bruins kind of watching the puck. No, I'm sorry, not the DeBrusque goal. The one where DeBrusque was on the floor. Man, it's just like everyone's kind of watching the puck, and he just squeaks it. I don't know if it was right between his pad and his glove. It sucks to lose it on the last goal. We're such nothing. Burger Sway had no chance. Puck was on edge. Took a deflection. How it even got to Swayman was a fluke. I completely agree. It was, you know, the puck was standing tall, went right through his legs. It was one of those things. Puck luck. That's hockey. Um, Getting lucky. On to the Celtics, Ramona. Ramona, I'm really glad you're a Celtics fan. I hope to see you on the Celtics shows. There's usually a bit more joy over there. It's definitely the favorite team. Ron, brother, thanks so much for a great season of insight and great facts and insight. Great job. End of the day, we have the Celtics. Ron, I'm really glad you're a Celtics fans too, brother. And thanks so much for being here, Ron. It's always been a pleasure talking to you. It sucks, but I can tell you the hockey games were a lot more fun to talk about. I feel like there was a lot more game planning going on in the hockey games, especially with the lines, a lot more to discuss and creativity. And the basketball is good, but there's pretty cut and dry. Celtics is just a better team. Seriously, Marner for Olmark, plus, maybe. Alan, are you saying that they should give more they should give more to get Olmark? Are you saying we should give more than Olmark to get Marner? Curious what you mean by that, Alan. Tim, this was that first goal was pinball, hit a few skates. Yeah, it was right there, center of the ice, and they capitalized. Oh man. My dad's much better at being the super angry guy. I'm just kind of sad. Usually, before we started this, I would just turn things off and avoid any sort of Bruins talk. This is kind of me facing my demon that is the disappointment. Kachuk celebrating those last 4 seconds when the puck went out of the zone. It just kicks me right in the balls. Oh man. What else to talk about here? I don't think anyone played really an egregious game from the Bruins side. Nothing really stood out as that. There was a couple weird penalties, but I'm not going to hang anybody on anything here. I've decided I don't want to be angry because we still played a great season. Yeah, Tim. Tim, if you said we lost, if you told us before the season that we would lose in Game 6 of Round 2, I don't think anybody, at least I know, would have been like, "Oh, that would be a huge disappointment." Um, Ramona on Facebook said, "Let me see if I can paste these Facebook comments in here and show." Ramona, a lot of wasted talent, not used. I totally agree, Ramona. Really was hoping for some of our better players to express some level of sniping accuracy, and it just wasn't there. We also got Ron again. I personally think 29 should have moved up to stop the puck, then pushing back, have someone else go after the puck. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Witherspoon definitely could have played that better. Witherspoon played a pretty darn good game. Again, I don't know if you heard me, Ron, talk about this, but Witherspoon getting that embellishment penalty was such a kick in the stomach after the garbage that we've dealt with this year of Florida flopping, and that's the first embellishment call they give. Come on, like all the flopping Florida done, and then you end up giving us the embellishment. It's kind of a joke. Haha, we're not giving up anything for Marner. Tim is not going to be buying a Marner jersey, so that's basically what I'm getting out of all this. Is Tim will not be wearing a Marner jersey if he's a Bruin. Number 29, awful. I mean, he's one of our young defensemen too, Ron. He's a rookie. Witherspoon, Bruins. I don't know if he's a rookie actually. Is he a rookie? Parker Witherspoon. Stats. Oh, he was on the Islanders. He played 12 games for the Islanders last year. Really nothing. Bruins a solid team. Need softer hands up the middle, or another game breaker on the wing. Solid season. Yeah, I agree, Alan. I think we overshot expectations this season. I would like to add a lot to this team, but hockey's a lot tougher to add talent. I'll take Marner if they're giving him away. If they're giving Marner away, he'll take him. And if Marner takes a bit of a more of a friendly contract, I don't know how he would slot into our team too well. Witherspoon better than RHAN McAvoy. I don't know what RHAN means, but McAvoy was not great this series. He had 2 points. Um, he's our 1A defenseman. If you're a 1A defenseman in the AHL, you're trying to be a top five defenseman in the AHL, you got to get more involved and create offense and make some game breaking stops. Did not see that from him this game. He also took a really crappy roughing call early on. He let some emotions get to him. I don't know what he needs to do this offseason, but McAvoy was not. And this is Cinderella Man. I appreciate you, Cinderella Man, chiming in. This was not a great showing for McAvoy. And by the way, anybody, if you're on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. My dad texts me every single time we get a subscriber. It makes his day. We would really appreciate it. My phone log is just filled. We're almost at 100. Maybe we'll do something when we hit 100. I think we'll find McAvoy is injured. Yeah, I think we'll find Pass is injured. Who else is injured, Tim? I mean, you're right, but like, I mean, everyone's injured. Everyone's dealing with something. Ron Stevenson, end of the day, Bergeron retired is or was the difference in my opinion. Man, I miss Patrice Bergeron. There was rumors of him coming back when we were kind of a bit of a wagon halfway through the season, and of course, that didn't come to fruition. I hope he's enjoying retirement. He deserved it, but yeah, no, we certainly missed it. The fact that we had, no offense, Geeky was our first line center, and then Charlie Coyle, and then Zaka. I don't know if those guys would even be the second line center on almost any of the teams in the playoffs right now. And we were just kind of rotating them. If anyone can correct me on that, if anybody in the playoffs right now, of course we are eliminated, but anybody in the playoffs has two centers that are their first two centers are not as good as those three. Let me know, but I'm pretty sure we had the weakest center group out of everybody remaining. And that showed in a lot of these games in the face-off circle and facilitating. Saka got his first goal, which was nice. But sadly that didn't break anything open for him. McAvoy for Marner, we throw in Reeves, so Maroon isn't the slowest guy at practice. Hey, Alan, it sounds like you're a Leafs fan. We are. I'm not a fan of the Leafs, but I am a big fan of Leafs fans. You guys have class acts, and I think what I've said is not many people know hockey as well as Leafs fans know hockey. I appreciated the Leafs series a lot more from the banter perspective than I have with the Florida series. A lot of the Florida fans, I think, just don't watch much hockey. From some of the comments they were making. But Leafs fans, you guys know your stuff as much as I hate you guys, and I hope you continue to have no success. I do appreciate your fans. Um, Without good centers, we can't control the neutral, which is where we really struggled. Yeah, especially on the power play. I mean, I don't know what happened. 1 for 16 or 1 for 17 this series. You talked about this before the series started, that I think special teams wouldn't play a big role. Sadly, they ended up playing a decent role for Florida starting about halfway through the series on, but they never played a big role for us. It's really embarrassing, especially the start we got off to. I don't know what happened. I mean, that's also goes back to Monty. Like Monty, where was the special sauce that we had with the Leafs? Why did everybody figure us out? Why could we not get anything in there with the power play after such a hot start? We were scorching hot to start that Leaf series, and we just totally fell off. Is Ron from Facebook again? Pasta, end of the year, not worth that money in the playoffs. I, it sometimes seemed, Ron, like he had a hole in his stick. At the end, just the puck was just not staying on his stick. I don't know what his problem is. I don't know why his hands seem to be so weak in the playoffs, but Pastrnak just loses the puck. And it's not what we need from what should be our best offensive player in his prime. It's a killer seeing Pasta do that garbage. He got his first power play goal last game in like 40 games. That's a joke. You're a class act, young calf. See you in the second round next year. Yeah, Alan, I would love to battle you guys again. You guys are such a fun group. It was such a pleasure. I It makes the series a lot more interesting, and I think the NHL loves it too. The numbers they did rating wise for a lot of our games were astronomical. I think the game 7 we had beat out like almost any other game for many years in the NHL, and it's a first round series. Um, Tim, I think the big reason Pasta wasn't better is because he didn't have a good center with him. He's having to force it instead of having a center that could feed him. Yeah, I mean that's that's true. Um, he's also had the best center I think in Bruins history on his line, and he still didn't show up too well in the playoffs those years with Bergeron, the perfection line, and everything like that. I know since then we really haven't, even found somebody who could hold Bergeron's water. We'll see if Patra becomes that next year, but you just got to do more when you're Pastrnak against this team. It was kind of waiting for him to wow me at least once, and he just really didn't do that this series. And getting stone cold on that breakaway is just such a killer. You're you're our best guy, best scorer, and you got a breakaway. You got to finish that. And the fact that he didn't is such a heartbreaker. You got to snipe a corner. Got to do something. You're worth a lot of money, like Ron said. You're getting paid a lot of money. You have to do something. You have to make an impact on the game, and you have to do that by being skillful. And if you can't, then blaming others when you're that good. I know I'm not saying he is blaming anyone else, but I don't think he can point at anybody else. Like, if you want to tell me DeBrusque suffered from not having a good center, I get it. DeBrusque isn't supposed to be a world class player, a world class scorer. But Pasta is. He's got to generate his own offense. Otherwise, he's just another Austin Matthews, right? Like, who cares about your regular season goals? My dad freaked out about it before we ended up eliminating the Leafs, but he went in on a Pastrnak and he talked about how I don't care if you want to get your 50 or 60 goals in the regular season. I don't care. Get some rest, figure out why your hands are you're losing the puck and everything like that. Stop chasing these regular season crap. And I don't know. Uh, it's a bummer. I'm really bummed we're not going to be doing these post game pre games. It was a lot for it was a lot for us to do these post game and pre games for all this stuff, but we were so ready to go so much longer, and it was so much fun. Um, Again, anybody out there who wants to subscribe, please subscribe. We'll be here for more Bruins content. Talking about team building, uh, how to approach things. My dad and I both look at contracts, get an idea of what we think is available out there in their free agency this upcoming and everything like that. We will be talking about the Celtics starting, I think, Tuesday. Um, I vaguely remember a slash across Pasta's wrist late in the season. I wonder if that screwed him up. Yeah, man, his hands are his moneymaker. His hands are so incredibly important, and if he can't do that, then we're kind of, if he can't keep the stick on his puck. I mean, I'm tired. The puck on the stick, and then we're screwed. So yeah. Um, Thanks so much, everybody. I'm sure my dad would love to be on here yelling. I'm sure he's very tipsy right now. His blood alcohol level is probably higher than the Bruins' goals tonight right now. I think he started drinking around like 10. Um, so so Maroon brought us strength. Nice, Sweeney. I don't know if Cinderella Man, if you're watching some sort of a post game where Sweeney is talking about, or Montgomery's talking about Maroon, but Maroon, like, he was only on ice for 7 minutes. He was a completely blank on the stat sheets. He had 11 shifts, 0 hits, 0 takeaways, 0 giveaways, 0 shots, 0 block shots. When he was on the ice, you had as much impact in the box score as he did. So everybody here in the stream, congratulations. You and Maroon had the same stat line. He just skated on the ice. I'm still okay with the Maroon trade. We didn't have money to buy anything better. You're right. We were there was no other way for us to get anybody else. I think Peak was a major success. I don't know what Peak's contract situation is, but I think Peak fit in very well. Solid player. He's a 0 tonight. yet again. I absolutely love Peak. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. Cinderella. I'm just telling the facts, man. Maroon is he can't get to any sort of action. He's too slow. He can't get the puck to a place where he has a clear shot on the goal on the goalie. He can't get in front of pucks because he's too slow. He can't get there. So yeah, Pat Maroon, man. Uh, Geeky with the -2. I talked about Geeky before the game, and Tim was like, Geeky does so many wrong things and then he gets the puck in the net. And tonight he did not get the puck in the net. And it seemed like he was at least around for a lot of wrong things. So, yeah, 30 minutes in. I sincerely appreciate everybody coming. Let me double check if there's anything. Oh, Ron's on here. Well, they have money to spend this offseason. Ron, I don't know. Ron, you probably know more than I do right now about their cap situation and everything. I'm gonna have to do some learning. I'm gonna have to do some learning and figure it out. We can talk, Ron. And if you have any ideas about team building, anybody we should go out to get, I would love to hear it, Ron. As we talk about that stuff, I just talked to him. He's in Cuba, I think. Yeah, if my dad's in Cuba, that if you're talking about the old bull, I'm I'm sure he could probably end up there from Key West, especially since Frank the Tank. You never know where Frank the Tank's gonna end up. About 24 million to spend, and I don't know who we have expiring. Boston Bruins. I'm curious. So, real quick, if anybody can reply quickly, do you want to bring DeBrus back? Of course, the easy answer is yes. I want to bring him back on, a team friendly contract. But the reality is, he's probably going to get paid somewhere around 3 to 5 million. So I'm curious if anybody wants to bring DeBrus back. Ron just said, "LOL." Ron, I don't know if you're talking about my dad or DeBrusque, but I think both are appropriate. Listen, I hope whoever, if anyone in here is from Florida, I'll have to Venmo you some bail money because I'm pretty sure my dad's gonna end up getting arrested. He's probably all grumpy on the dance floor right now, bumping into people. Probably wants to fight. Cinderella Man said no, does not want DeBrusque back. Um, yeah, my dad's hope and my hope really was that DeBrusque would play so well that he would price himself out of Boston. I think this was a great last game for him in Boston. No offense to him, the block shots, the pass and everything like that. I don't know how he translates. Yeah, so we're gonna lose JVR, we're gonna lose Heinen, Maroon, DeBrusque, Magna Jason. I don't know who that guy is. And we have Boquist as a restricted free agent. I don't think anyone's gonna fight us over keeping him. Murder on the dance floor. The old bull is probably so. I don't know if you guys know this, but the old bull used to date a girl, and they went out. They were having fun. I guess he punched somebody, and when he punched them, it must have been like a homeless person because he ended up getting some sort of uh, extreme MRSA, and he almost died. I didn't realize that. He called me after he was in the hospital for like 4 days. They couldn't find an antibiotic that could cure this weird swamp bacteria that he got from punching somebody, some toothless, or nearly toothless person in Florida. So hopefully that's not going to be the case. Hopefully I'm not going to get a call in a few days about some weird disease my dad caught in Key West, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I'll crowdfund here if anybody wants to send some money if that becomes the case. So yeah, that is that's the night. Thanks everybody for your time. I appreciate you. We will definitely be doing a episode, maybe another live episode to talk about how the Bruins can approach next year very soon. So thank you everybody for your time. Have a good night. And for the last time this season, go Bees. It sucks you're done, but it is what it is. Good night, everybody. Bye bye.